have a question for you. And this is mainly directed towards people who still eat meat without having any thought about where it comes from or any thought about the cause that they're supporting, which is animal slavery, taking away freedom of multiple animal species, and not allowing them to have happy, healthy, free lives where they can connect with their family. Imagine if tigers started living in your local environment, and if tigers started renting houses and started working jobs in society. They learned English, they did whatever they had to do to live in society. And imagine if all the tigers, hundreds and hundreds of tigers that lived in your city or town, started collecting children and it was something that was passed by the US government to where these tigers could collect your children and do whatever they wanted with them. They would start off by just putting them in small cages or really small cluttered rooms where your children would not have any freedom to do whatever they wanted. They could say whatever they wanted, they could scream, they could express their pain, but they would not be able to be free. And eventually, your children would just be ultimately eaten by these tigers. That'd be really unfortunate, but in my opinion, that'd be somewhat of an equalizer to what's going on with so many cows, chickens, pigs, fish, and then other animal species that are being slaughtered and taken advantage of by humans. Yeah, I saw this documentary called Blackfish about a month or so ago, and it talked about how back in the 80s, some Americans started capturing wild killer whales, also known as orcas, and one of the guys that was a part of it was saying that it was so sad to separate the baby whales from the mother whales, and how there would be a family of 6 to 7 whales that would be there together, and they would isolate all of the whales into a certain pod so that none of them could get away, and then they would use nets to take the babies, and the baby whales would scream and freak out, but they're young and they're vulnerable, and the mother whales and the dad and uncle and aunt whales would all just be there right by that baby whale's side to be able to do whatever they could. And he really expressed that it was so sad, and he looked like a tough guy. He looked like a guy that was definitely, in my opinion, not one to embrace his emotions, but he said he cried and that it was so horrible. Yeah, so it's a horrible, horrible thing to take away mother animals from their babies. I mean, it's a horrible thing. Why should it have to be done? Think about what it would be like if you have a child. If you haven't yet, try to imagine having the most the most valuable people in your life just taken away from you for no reason. We're literally designed to spend time with those who create us, at least while we're developing and growing. And then eventually, if you're a human, you may move on and stay in short, loose contact. Or if you're an animal, you may stay connected for years and years or your whole life. I feel like whale communities are very strong. But yeah, just try to imagine what you're doing by buying meat and dairy, and how so many hundreds and thousands of animals are just being produced as a product, as a food source for you and your family, and how that's not necessary. How meat and dairy are not a valuable food source because it's causing suffering on this earth. And not only in the sense of families being torn apart, but in your health. If you look at research of people that have eaten a vegan diet and how much healthier they are than people that eat a majority of their meals from meat, dairy, eggs, cheese, animal products, the results for people that eat a vegan diet are much, much better. Alright. Happy day. Take care.